What's up, everybody? It's your girl. It's your girl. It's your girl. Pre-conspiracy row, Pretty and Coro, and coming on to do a video. Gonna do it no matter what, no matter who tries to stop me. You know, no matter what 3-year-old or 10-year-olds try to get in my way, try to sabotage. You know. See, somebody looking at me right now with an owie. Here, he's coming in with his owie. I think he want to kiss. You want to kiss? Want me to kiss it? Okay. Better? Okay, give me some. See what I'm saying? I'm focused, laser focused. But I want to do a video about my spiritual journey, you know, and that's a nail on the wall. And you know, how I got here, what's the community get here, or how I've come to this understanding that I have. So boom, like it all started when, well, I'll just talk about how I was raised. I was raised in, what are you doing? Why do you have the seasoning salt? Huh? You want to go on the beach? In the basement? Go ahead. Emmanuel down there. Okay, anyway. So look, it all started, or no, I grew up, you know, I'm from a small city or whatever. And everybody where I'm from pretty much grew up like Christian. But my family is actually from the South, so like my granddad, he was like Catholic, and then he actually like converted to Christianity later in his life, you know. So it was like a Catholic slash Baptist slash non-denominational household, because the church we went to was actually non-denominational, but it was really similar to a Baptist Christian church, if you know what I mean, a Black Baptist church. So anyway, that's how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? You know the routine. My mom wasn't, I'm not going to say she wasn't as religious, because she was definitely religious, superstitious, you name it. She, you know, she feels it. You know what I'm saying? Like all of it. So whatever. But she wasn't adamant like church goer. Like she didn't go as much as like say my grandmother or my granddad. Like they would go all the time, you know. They were always there, first service, second service, if they had it. If they was traveling to another church, they would go to that. If it was, you know, like my grandma was like a mother of church, my granddad was a deacon. So you know, that just shows you, like, anytime we were at my grandparents' house, we knew we were going to church. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care how hard you tried to sleep or how much you tried to fake like you were sick. Like, you was getting your butt up and you was going to church. There was no way around it. It was no hiding. So, you know, at my mama's house, my mom didn't always go to church, so we had that to look. We knew that we could sleep in, or, you know, she was probably gonna sleep in, and my granny would come and she would blow that horn like, you know, let's go, who going? You know what I'm saying? Then my mom would be like, oh, they sleep, or, you know, whatever the case. But, you know, my mom was still very into religion and very into the Bible. She read a lot, and she kind of had her own form, her own relationship with God or whatnot. Oh, he's back. So anyway, it all kind of changed for me when I was about in the...
What is there, Mom?
Give it here. Hold on, yeah. Everything kind of changed for me when I was about in the, I'll say maybe the, I want to say middle school, but it was probably more like ninth or 10th grade, maybe 8th grade, maybe like 8th or ninth grade. But anyways, the one of the very first things I remember happening was like I had went and I had my second oldest brother. So not my oldest brother, but the one under him, the one I'm closer in age to, because I have a youngest brother too. But anyway, he was older than me, so he was probably in high school. Maybe I was in middle school, or maybe he was just, in the higher grade of high school or whatever. But for whatever reason, he was over somebody's house, and he was over one of his friends' house, and I had met him over there, and they was he like, look at all these movies they got, this, that, and the third. So I'm looking at all the movies, and I'm like, he like, oh, but look at this one. And it was like a documentary. He like, oh yeah, he like, this one gonna mess you up, this one gonna change your life, this, that, and the third, this is scary. I'm like, no, I could watch it, you know what I'm saying? It's my favorite brother, so I'm like, I could watch it. He like, nah, all right, let's watch it. So he put on a movie, and it's like I said, documentary type style film, and it's about the Illuminati. So it's talking about, it talked about like all the stars, and how their deaths was, it talked about, I remember exactly what it talked about, but it was my first time ever. It talked about like the pyramid on the back of the dollar, and how all these things were connected, and and for a person who've never seen anything like that, it was just like mind-boggling. You get what I'm saying? Like, for me, it was just like, it kind of just made my brain melt. And I'm like, in no way. It's like I walk through the world, like if you've ever seen the movie, what is it when he walk around with the glasses, and instead of seeing the signs, he see all the other stuff. Like he see all the instead of seeing the ads, he starts seeing like Obey and all this stuff. I forgot what the movie called, but it was just like that for me. It's like the wool was pulled from my eyes, I was seeing things differently, and it really fucked my world up, and my brother knew it. But after that, it's like, it just kept coming at me. So I worked in like at a church. I actually worked at a Baptist church in their office, and I was like the secretary because I was still in high school. Yeah, I was about in high school this time, and I would get on the computer all the time because my job was just to fill up the calendar and stuff. Yes. Oh gosh, now he found some candy. Hold on, y'all. So my job was to fill up the calendar and talk to people when they came in, direct different people, whatever. So what had happened was, I started using that time to look up different things about and that's how I really got on YouTube. And I started seeing all this stuff on YouTube, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, just everything about the presidents and about everything, and then I'm like, for me still being in school, getting ready to graduate in a couple years soon, it's just like, wow, like I really thought I was in the Matrix, like it was just like weird. Like I was having a hard time wrapping my mind around things. I was seeing things about the Da Vinci codes and speaking of the Da Vinci Code, so how I have seen those is actually I was in school, and it was like, I remember it being like close to the end of the year, and it might have been like my 10th or my 11th grade year. Was it my senior year? I don't think it was my senior year. It might have been like 10th or 11th grade. And I was in my sociology class, and I remember the teacher, I think it was Mr. Birch. He had, it was the end of the year, so everything was real lax or whatever. We didn't have a lesson. He had just put on a movie. And the movie he had put on, I don't remember the name. It had something to do with like currency, or like, because it was talking about the money and stuff too. But the movie he put on was basically like, just like it wasn't about the music industry though, but it was just like the movie my brother had showed me. It was just showing about the corrupt government, and like, it was talking about like black people being in jail, like all this stuff. And I'm like, why would he be showing us this? Like, it was really messing me up in school. It messed me and cause my cousin had went there too. We was in the same class. It messed me and my cousin up so bad, honey. We was running around trying to tell everybody. We was trying to tell her cousin, her sister. We was trying, and people was kind of like laughing at us, and we was so serious, and we was so scared. Like, we had went on this like mission to like, I guess, make people aware of what was going on, but nobody really understood what we was trying to tell them, because I had watched the 2 movies, and I had watched some stuff on YouTube, and then she had watched the movie, and so it was crazy. But I knew that I really wasn't into, after that I wasn't going to be into religion like that. Yeah, it's charged. You got to leave it on the charger longer than that? But, so anyways, okay, so this is going on. I'm having this experience. I'm trying to tell people about it. I'm trying to tell my family about it. People kind of like, oh, okay, Liz. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they called me. I'm like, no, like, it's real. Like, y'all need to know. Like, and it was around the time that I had started finding out about the Bible codes, and it was talking about how the Bible codes predicted everything, how it had these symbols that was wrote in, like, I guess Hebrew, and they was only able to reveal them after things were happening, and it had everything down to like the DC sniper situation that was gonna happen. Like, all this stuff was foreshadowed in these codes, and I was trying to explain it to my family, like, because I wasn't sure if things were real or if things were fake, or if everything was just like prophecy being fulfilled. I was still trying to figure it out, and figure out who I was as a young lady, and who I wanted to be or whatever. And they just didn't understand it. Like, my mom was like, yeah, nah, whatever, we believe in Jesus over here, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. They telling my grandparents on me and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, like, it just didn't resonate. The message wasn't resonating. I remember my brother came home from prison, and he used to really be big on like the hip-hop, you know what I'm saying, on the music industry. And I was trying to tell him, I was trying to expose Jay-Z to my brother, and my brother, he just didn't get it. I was sending him videos about the Umbrella video, and how him and Rihanna was talking about Rain Man and this, that, and the third. And y'all, like, I've never, honestly, looking back, like, it's funny now, but back then, like, I was kind of embarrassed, because I'm like, oh, they just think that I'm crazy, or they just don't get it. It's not, why don't they resonate with them like it resonate with me? Why don't they understand it like I understand it? Even with the sports, like, I was trying to tell people like how it's fake, how all the stuff is connected, and they just don't get it. So, but anyways, one day I remember the bishop came over, because, like, my family was like really close with the with the church and with the pastor, and like my mom was like one of the first few members or something like that. If you listen, she tells a story about it. And she actually was the one who brought my granddad and my grandma to the church to and they became a deacon and the mother or whatever. But anyway, so the bishop, like, he would visit, he would visit everybody or whatever. For whatever reason, he had stopped by. He was talking to my parents, and he said something about the Bible codes. Like, out of the movie, the Da Vinci Code had came out, and so everybody was going crazy about that. So they were talking about that, and I'm just sitting there listening, probably freaking coloring at the table. I remember I was sitting at the table, whatever I was doing, maybe too old to be coloring. Maybe I was doing homework. I don't know. But I'm sitting at the table, he's talking to my parents. He's actually on his way out the door, and something is mentioned about the Da Vinci Code. And he's like, yeah, the Bible codes, like, is talking about stuff that happened, and it's telling stuff that happened before it happened, this, that, and the third. And I'm like,